Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Logan ladies get knocked down by Steffy. Steffy Forrester responds to the criticism of her recent dismissal of the Logan daughter in the CBS serial opera One at a Time. Bold and the Beautiful with a wealth of sarcasm and clever retorts. Then there is Taylor Hayes, who continues to serve as Steffy's amplifier while mounted on the corner of her daughter's desk. She repeats what her daughter has said while sitting there with a sardonic expression on her face. The atmosphere at Forrester Creations cannot be improved by this. Brave and lovely, Ridge Forrester is shocked by Steffy Forrester's action. After allowing Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, to railroad Ridge Forrester, Torsten K., fans of Bold and the Beautiful blamed him. The fact that he permitted his daughter Hope Logan, Annika Noel, to be removed out of the building is one of the main grievances raised by B&B viewers. Even viewers of Team Steffy thought this degree of humiliation was inappropriate. Steffy Forrester spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful. Ridge, however, may thank his daughter for making him a target because this is only the beginning. Steffy Forrester never spoke to her father about firing Hope. She uses it as a defense, however, and goes on to explain that her father agreed with her. She explained Hope's actions to her father. Then she told him that she had sacked him. At this Bold and the Beautiful event, he had little influence on the situation. However, he pretends to support this rather than confronting his daughter about her immoral behavior. Perhaps because Rebecca Budig's character Taylor Hayes is a regular in his office these days and encourages him to agree with their daughter. This week, Steffy Forrester's first candidate on Bold and the Beautiful was Katie Logan. Despite everything Katie hurled at her, Steffy had a response that disproved everything she stated. Telling this Logan sister that Ridge was by her side during the tragedy appeared to provide the Forrester daughter joy. She also seemed to take pleasure in reminding Katie that this business is owned by the Forresters. She isn't the only Logan woman, though, who has been impacted by Steffy's poor use of authority. With her mommy bear mask on, Steffy Forrester will have to compete with Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang. Thus, one by one, the Forrester daughter dismantles the Logan family's requests. Taylor is probably following her around and confirming what her daughter says. However, Steffy has more than just the Logan women seeking clarification and venting. Steffy is probably also confronted by Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor. He initially goes to Ridge, who is aware by this point that Carter's grievance with Steffy's personal life spilling over into work is valid. Now that Steffy Forrester's mess is getting worse this week on Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge has to clean it up. It seemed as though he stood aside while Steffy pushed Hope out the door during her immature outburst. Ridge will understand what he has done once Brooke has had a chance to speak. Additionally, you can bet that Ridge Forrester is her second visit, even if Eric Forrester, John McCook, has to deal with Donna Logan, Jennifer Gerais. Ridge is a sitting duck for furious complaints, Bold and the Beautiful. Ridge Forrester is unable to flee or conceal himself from this. He probably knew from the beginning that his daughter was off the rules. Will he, however, acknowledge that he should have stopped it or that it was wrong to watch and do nothing? Taylor continued to tease Ridge even after he gave his daughter a mild warning for her actions. She brought up his support for his daughter's termination. Ridge must therefore be aware that his failure to stop his daughter's Logan hunting conduct was a mistake. Rather, it was wise to wait for Steffy Forrester and Hope Logan to calm down before continuing the conversation. However, it appears that he pays a heavy price for this on the CBS serial opera. Brooke and Ridge fail the loyalty test, and Hope and Carter give in to their passion. According to Wednesday, November 6 spoilers for the Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy Forrester will update John Finnegan on the most recent incident that occurred at Forrester Creations. Steffy fired Hope Logan and barred her from the building because she could not stand her going overboard once more. Steffy will tell Finn about Hope's punishment now that she is okay with it in order to get his approval. Finn will undoubtedly apologize for the mayhem in the design office, but Steffy will stress that he is not to blame. Steffy solely blames Hope for pursuing Finn, and now that Hope is no longer employed at Forrester Creations, Steffy will want to concentrate on her marriage to her husband. According to B&B spoilers, Finn and Steffy will deepen their bond even further as they allow desire to flare during some intimate alone time. Hope and Carter Walton's, Lawrence St. Victor, affections for one another will explode. Speaking of passion, Hope can't express how grateful she is to Carter for standing up for her and helping her after her miscommunication with Steffy. Carter and Hope haven't gone to bed yet, but they ought to do so shortly. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Carter and Hope will confess their love before engaging in some passionate moments together. Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester continue to argue over Hope and Steffy while Hope and Carter escalate the situation. It appears that Brooke will ultimately honor her vow to keep the details of Carter and Hope's covert affair a secret, despite her temptation to do so. Ridge will therefore support Steffy's choice to get rid of Hope. It will force Ridge and Brooke to face the harsh truth that they will always be more loyal to their respective daughters than to one another. Stay tuned to find out if a Taylor Hayes reunion is in the cards, as our predictions suggest that Brooke and Ridge's relationship may soon take a further turn for the worse. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge and Brooke's fate might not be as set in stone as they once believed. Mom is enraged by Will's news, while Steffy deals with Katie's outburst. According to Tuesday, November 5th spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge Forrester contacted Brooke Logan to express his want to see her and to let her know he was on his way. Brooke believed that having Hope Logan, Annika Noel, and Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, there would escalate the conflict, so she suggested they leave. Brooke wanted to talk to Ridge on her own in order to get through to him, but Hope made Brooke swear that talking about her relationship with Carter would only hurt them both. Taylor Hayes and Steffy Forrester, meantime, urged Ridge to resist giving in to Brooke's pressure. Steffy believed that Hope's termination had to be a permanent decision. When Ridge arrived to Brooke's house, she interrogated him about the events that transpired. Although Ridge confessed that he asked Hope to leave the premises, he acknowledged that Steffy was the one who dismissed Hope. According to what transpired with John Finnegan in the design office, Ridge pretended that Hope had left them with no other option. Brooke maintained that Ridge was mistaken about Hope and that it wasn't what it appeared to be. On Tuesday's B&B episode, Hope thought back on her embarrassing office performance at Carter's loft. Carter believed that something needed to be done and didn't care that the Forresters held all the power. Carter's dissatisfaction with Logan's treatment within the corporation was evident. Hope was encouraged to see that Carter was not abandoning his ideas for a luxury brand in spite of the unsatisfactory responses he had received thus far. Hope recognized that Carter hardly had any influence as COO, despite her appreciation for his wonderful proposal. Hope claims that the Forresters didn't treat anyone who wasn't one of their own with the same respect. Carter raged about the Logans being treated like second-class citizens and insisted they would act immediately after Hope said they should. Hope insisted he came racing and assured her that everything would be well, while Carter only wished he had been there when she most needed him. Hope expressed her gratitude for having at last discovered someone like Carter after describing him as a good man. Hope and Carter kissed passionately as the well-known jazzy tune grew louder. Katie Logan, Heather Tom, was taken aback by Will Spencer's, Crew Morrow, updates on Ridge and Steffy's decision to terminate Hope in the Forrester design office. When Charlie Weber was called to escort Hope out, the entire building was in a frenzy. Katie lost her temper and declared that Hope could not be fired. Katie ran off to find Ridge after telling Will about the disagreement with Finn. They almost collided again because Will and Electra Forrester were not paying attention to their direction. Will mentioned that he enjoyed running into Electra and was happy to hear that he would be seeing her more often now that the jewelry line was being relaunched. Will jumped at the chance to help after Electra said they would benefit from the intern's assistance. When Will mentioned that he was growing fonder of Forrester, Electra grinned back at him and acknowledged that she was feeling the same way. When Katie stormed into the CEO's office in search of Ridge, she discovered Steffy and Taylor. Steffy essentially encouraged Katie not to worry, despite her desire to reason with Ridge about Hope's termination. Because of the miscommunication, Katie hurried to Hope's defense, claiming that Steffy had no right to fire her. However, Steffy insisted that Hope's future was hopeless. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope and Steffy's conflict will continue, so we'll give you more predictions about how terrible things will become. Carter Walton's latest moral dilemma and its ripple effects at Forrester Creations, FC, could set the stage for a shakeup on The Bold and the Beautiful. Known for his integrity, Carter's recent moves may have surprised fans, leaving them questioning if he's truly driven by his ideals or if he's getting tangled in something that could lead to significant fallout. With Steffy Forrester at the helm of Forrester Creations, Carter's actions threaten to destabilize not only his relationships but also the stability of FC itself. Carter's moral scheme, righteous or risky? Carter has long been known as a pillar of morality in Los Angeles, often serving as a voice of reason and ethics at Forrester Creations. However, his current scheme challenges that perception, as he seems willing to take drastic steps to achieve what he sees as just or fair. Whether he's driven by a sense of righteousness or revenge remains unclear, but it's evident that Carter's intentions, while rooted in personal values, could have far-reaching consequences. In recent episodes, Carter has shown a willingness to bend the rules in the name of what he believes is right for FC and its employees. Perhaps he's grown weary of seeing manipulation and questionable decisions play out in the workplace, or maybe he feels personally wronged by past situations involving FC leadership. Whatever his motivation, Carter's actions could lead him down a dangerous path where his good intentions may backfire, turning him into an unexpected threat to FC's stability. Steffy's position at Forrester Creations, the pressure mounts. As one of the leaders of Forrester Creations, Steffy Forrester is no stranger to conflict, but Carter's newfound assertiveness poses a unique challenge. Steffy's leadership has always leaned on family loyalty and a strong sense of tradition, but with Carter's scheme unfolding, she may find herself questioning whom she can trust. Her dedication to the company's reputation is unwavering, and she knows that any disruption to the status quo could tarnish the Forrester legacy. Steffy's reaction to Carter's plan could be a defining moment for her, as she weighs loyalty to her longtime friend against her responsibility to the family business. If she confronts Carter, she risks alienating him and potentially creating further divides within the company. On the other hand, if she lets his scheme play out, she might jeopardize her leadership and even the future of FC. For Steffy, maintaining control over FC is essential, but Carter's unpredictable moves make her job that much harder. Tension between personal and professional boundaries. The blurred line between personal and professional interests has always been a recurring theme at FC, but Carter's latest maneuver forces everyone to examine their boundaries. For Carter, his plan may feel like an act of justice, but for those around him, particularly Steffy, it comes across as a betrayal of trust. The tension between maintaining professional standards and dealing with personal loyalties has never been so stark, and both Steffy and Carter are caught in the crossfire. Carter's potential power play could even affect other key players at FC, who might find themselves choosing sides. Loyalty has been a cornerstone of the company's foundation, and if Carter's scheme disrupts this delicate balance, employees and family members alike could be forced to pick between supporting Steffy's vision or backing Carter's moral stand. This conflict could change the dynamics within the company, impacting not only operations but also the relationships between characters who have relied on each other for years. The domino effect, possible consequences at Forrester Creations. If Carter's plan succeeds or spirals out of control, it could cause a domino effect at Forrester Creations. The company could face internal discord, decreased productivity, and even public scandal if news of the scheme leaks. As a major fashion house, FC's reputation is key to its success, and any hint of internal drama can affect public perception and investor confidence. Steffy knows this all too well, and she may have to take extreme measures to contain the situation before it explodes. Moreover, Carter's involvement in this ethical gamble could cost him the respect of his colleagues and the loyalty of those who look up to him. If he loses the trust of his peers, he may find himself increasingly isolated, a position that could make him vulnerable to further mistakes. For a man who has always valued honesty and integrity, this would be a painful outcome, and it might even cause him to question his own identity. Steffy, meanwhile, could face her own consequences if she mishandles the situation. If she appears too lenient with Carter, it might seem like she's endorsing his behavior, which could harm her credibility. Alternatively, if she's too harsh, she risks creating resentment and weakening her leadership. This delicate balance of power and trust could push Steffy into uncharted territory, potentially even leading to a dramatic shift in how she manages the company and her personal relationships. What's next for Carter and Steffy? Both Carter and Steffy are at a crossroads, and their decisions in the coming episodes will have a significant impact on Forrester Creations and everyone connected to it. For Carter, he must confront the ethical ramifications of his scheme and decide if he's willing to continue down a path that could compromise his values. If he pulls back, he may be able to salvage his reputation and relationships, but if he pushes forward, he risks alienating those closest to him. For Steffy, the challenge lies in her ability to navigate this situation without compromising her role as a leader. She will have to weigh whether Carter's motives align with FC's interests or if he's become a rogue element that threatens the company's integrity. How she handles this situation could reshape her reputation as a leader and a member of the Forrester family, solidifying her role as a formidable executive or casting doubts on her judgment. The stakes for Forrester Creations. Forrester Creations has faced many threats over the years, but Carter's internal challenge may be one of the most complex yet. Unlike external rivals or competitors, this is a potential breakdown from within, with someone who once represented the company's ethical backbone now acting as a wildcard. The stakes are high. If FC's leadership can't contain the situation, it risks losing its standing in the fashion industry, potentially opening the door for rivals to capitalize on its vulnerability. Fans of the bold and the beautiful will undoubtedly be glued to see how Carter's moral scheme plays out and how Steffy manages the fallout. Both characters are wrestling with their values and the pressures of loyalty, integrity, and ambition. In a world where the lines between right and wrong are constantly shifting, Carter and Steffy's decisions will shape not only their futures but also the future of Forrester Creations. Hope Logan's recent storyline on The Bold and the Beautiful has some fans speculating if she's becoming the new Sally Spectra, a determined, boundary-pushing character known for her boldness and willingness to defy Forrester Creations and its elite family. Hope, who once epitomized the good girl archetype with her values rooted in integrity, now finds herself making increasingly risky decisions that raise questions about her identity and motivations. This character's shift has sparked debate on whether Hope is following in Sally's footsteps, especially given the mounting challenges in her personal and professional life. Hope's transformation, a new edge and resilience. Hope has undergone significant changes, especially in light of her career troubles and personal relationships. Once defined by her commitment to Forrester Creations, she's now contemplating starting her own fashion brand with Carter Walton, a move that feels reminiscent of Sally Spectra's underdog beginnings. Sally, as a fashion maverick, often took the road less traveled, fighting for recognition outside the mainstream fashion establishment dominated by the Forresters. Hope's pivot to create a new brand and compete with Forrester Creations seems to echo Sally's rebellious spirit and desire for independence. This transformation aligns Hope more with the outsider status Sally once held. Sally's brand was known for embracing bold designs and challenging industry norms, often risking everything to carve out a place in the highly competitive world of fashion. If Hope truly embraces a similar trajectory, she might shed her previous persona and adopt a more daring approach to fashion and business. This change could set her apart as a formidable force, especially as she steps outside the protective shadow of her family's legacy and finds her voice as an independent designer. Family conflicts and standing her ground. Hope's departure from Forrester Creations and her growing tension with her mother, Brooke Logan, also resemble the familial strain that Sally Spectra often faced with the Forresters. As Hope considers starting her own brand, she risks alienating herself from the Forrester family, particularly if her new venture competes directly with FC. This mirrors Sally's early conflicts with the Forresters, who often saw her as an unpolished outsider challenging their dominance in the fashion world. While Sally embraced her outsider status and even used it to fuel her drive, Hope's potential alienation from her family presents a more complex journey. Having spent her life as a Forrester insider, she's now positioned to experience what it's like to be on the outside looking in. This could be empowering for Hope, allowing her to craft her own identity outside of the Forrester legacy and establish herself as a serious competitor in the industry. Romantic intrigues and complicated loyalties. Sally's character was also marked by complex romantic entanglements, often with men who were deeply intertwined with the Forrester family. Hope, similarly, finds herself caught in romantic and familial complications that blur the line between loyalty and ambition. Her recent interactions with Thomas Forrester, a man she once despised, have added layers of tension and intrigue to her character. Much like Sally, whose romances with Forresters brought both drama and opportunity, Hope's relationships seem to challenge her values and position her as a multifaceted character navigating conflicting desires. This romantic turmoil could further push Hope towards a Sally-like role, as Sally often used her relationships to gain a foothold in the fashion world. However, Hope's relationships might become more about personal discovery and independence than ambition alone, distinguishing her from Sally's sometimes opportunistic approach. Nonetheless, her recent choices indicate a willingness to embrace complexities and blurred moral lines that were once foreign to her character. Competing with Forrester Creations, an underdog story. If Hope's new fashion venture indeed goes up against Forrester Creations, she'll be stepping into Sally's role as an underdog facing a powerful dynasty. Sally Spectra's legacy was built on challenging the fashion elite, and she repeatedly fought to prove herself in an industry dominated by the Forresters. This echoes the current predicament Hope faces, where she must redefine herself as a designer outside of the Forrester brand. In challenging FC, Hope has the potential to become a disruptive force in the fashion world, using her unique vision to stand apart from the traditional styles of Forrester Creations. Sally's fashion house, Spectra Fashions, was known for its bold colors, daring designs, and a style that diverged sharply from Forrester's high-end, classic aesthetic. Hope could similarly embrace an edgier, less conventional approach that reflects her personal journey and evolving sense of self, creating a distinctive brand that competes directly with Forrester's refined image. Hope's journey, reinventing herself or becoming a Spectra in spirit? Ultimately, whether Hope Logan becomes the new Sally Spectra depends on how far she's willing to go to challenge the Forrester empire and redefine her role in the fashion industry. While she may not mirror Sally's audacious, at times flamboyant style directly, she does seem to be embracing some of Sally's grit, ambition, and resilience. Unlike Sally, who often flaunted her outsider status, Hope is stepping away from a privileged insider position, which could add more weight to her journey as she tries to prove herself without the Forrester name. As fans watch Hope's character continue to evolve, it's clear that her story is moving toward an empowered independence that parallels Sally's fierce spirit. Her struggle to balance loyalty to her family with her desire to strike out on her own brings an exciting new dimension to her character. Whether she succeeds or fails, Hope's journey could ultimately reflect Sally's legacy as a character who is unafraid to disrupt the norms, challenge powerful adversaries, and stand up for her dreams, even if it means going toe-to-toe with the Forresters.